money, you know what it is. 2 for the show, yeah, we shut it down. 3 just to make sure you ready. 4, let them know that we run this town. 1 for the money, you know what it is. 2 for the show, yeah, we shut it down. 3 just to make sure you ready. 4, let them know that we run. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are now tuned in to the greatest. The greatest of all time. The greatest of all time.
I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better.
1 for the money, you know what it is. 2 for the show, yeah, we shut it down. 3 just to make sure you ready. 4, let them know that we run this town. 1 for the money, you know what it is. 2 for the show, yeah, we shut it down. 3 just to make sure you ready.
All right, good people. Shalom, assalamu alaikum, hotel, hola. Good day to you wherever you are in this world. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with me today, and I truly, truly appreciate that. Today, we're here for another edition of News, Facts, and Comments Sunday Rap Session, and I have my partner in crime in these YouTube streets, MajorTv, joining me for this session. This is a special reporting session today. You know, there's so many different news stories going on in the news, my brother, and I'm like, T just gonna go ahead and load them up on the website. There's so much to talk about, so many different opinions, but I did see this one article came across my desk last week, and I shared it with you, and I thought it was so profound. You know, I said, you know, as we go into the month of February, and it's deemed so-called Black History Month, and it's the shortest month in the year, and that's the one they say is Black History Month. Okay, so I get that, right? But I came across this article. This young lady had had an opinion on Black History Month and what that really means to the Black community. And I shared that with you, and I said, you know, I think we should really speak upon that, because she made some very valid points. You know, so let's go ahead and bring the article up. Let's do that, because when we talk about Black history, we want to bring forth all those things that are good. But she reminded us that in this article, she reminded that it hasn't been all good for us, right? In the way that we reflect on different things. We try to achieve as a people, and that goes in our history books. But then it seems like nowadays they're trying to whitewash our history. They're trying to make us believe that our history really wasn't what it was when it happened. And, you know, that's kind of disturbing. I found that to be kind of disturbing. I say, you know, she's kind of right. She's kind of right. So I brought you in, Major, today to say, you know, to give your take on this article. And she said it was a rallying cry for action, you know, for us to bring about change in the way people are looking at us, and, you know, from a royal's view, in our achievements or our disappointments. A rallying cry, she said, that we need to go to the ballot to effectuate change. But I'm like, I don't see any candidate or any particular politician right now that are pushing towards reparations, or talking big on reparations, or talking big on police brutality, talking big on financial security for our people. And so I don't know if going to the ballot box is going to change anything in the way that people view us. So you come on in, brother. Let me know what you think about that before I read some of the article.
Well, you know, it's a call, or urge for call of action that's been going on since the 60s, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a culmination of a lot of things that happened after slavery, then all these black towns and whatnot, it emerged and later were destroyed, and how the government made it business to make sure that they shut us out of the economy, growth, and development as a community. So when the sister said call for action, it's been a big deal, like with the police violence, predatory lending, with in this day and age, there was a report made by David Federal denying um, many black people versus white people loans for homes and stuff like this. And the call for urgency have always been a big deal, but now I think um, considering what all I spoke about and what has been happening, because it's like it's getting worse than better in reference to how we learn about these banks, the U.S. Currency, we learn about these wars and all this other stuff that's making things look very, very dear. And we find out thanks to brother Clive Clive Lindsay when he spoke about how all these countries are buying gold and what have you. These big countries like the China, Russia, United States, and stuff like that. So when you say a call of action, I definitely agree with her. Um, and the thing about it, like you're saying, trying to find the right candidate. We did have this sister on our channel that's running for U.S. Congress in Tennessee, and she definitely spoke about a lot of things you just spoke about. So she is one of the people that are echoing some of the things you said, but like you said, it's not many out there that's speaking like that.
You know, she says in her article, A Rallying Cry for Action, she said, it's time to turn our commemoration into action, our history lessons into life lessons, and our collective memory into a collective movement. What do you think that when she say collective movement, because we always talk about Black Power movement, right? And I think I remember I heard you say a couple of months ago, Black Power movement is dead. You know, so what do you think that what do you think she mean by a collective movement? Turn our collective memory into a collective movement. What do you think she means by that?
So there has been always a cry, a lower shout, a major noise about us coming together because we have seen over the years how the powers that be made the business to destroy the black community, the black home. And when you look at all the different movements over the year, and even look at currently the different movements, a lot of people saying the same thing, but getting everybody in the room to agree that we should take action, that's the hardest thing to do. We have some of the brightest minds that's not working together. We have some of the brightest minds when they do get together, they don't agree. While these people, lawmakers, the government are behind closed doors passing laws that they one time passed to appease us, right? They turn around, water all that down. So I think she's trying to say we need to remember what the original fight was about and look at what we're dealing with. And we can't be saying we want this, that, and other if we're not able to come together. If we can't come together, then how can we build? You know what I'm saying? How can we really demand anything from Congress, anything from U.S. government, anything from anyone if we haven't shown that we can unify, we can show we have moral character, we can show that we are trying to build our own economy, build our own school system, banking system, community development, and along the lines of self-determination and what have you, but really just executing. And while we execute, we also working together to push that we get different laws passed in our favor, the push that we get the necessary equal rights that's guaranteed us, and that we should have regardless of the naysayers and the white people that feel like we got too much already and we just complaining.
Right. So she mentioned that. No, I mean, let me say it this way. I've heard a lot of people say that our elders let us down, right? I'm sure you've heard that in regards to how they did not pick up the mantle and keep going. Like some of us might even go so far as to say that they sold out to the status quo, right? They didn't keep pushing that Black Power movement that Huey P. And people like Malcolm X started, saying self-determination, that on that road to self-determination, we settle for integration, right? So she says here, let's not wait for future generations to reflect on how we missed our moment. And that goes along the same lines as we saying right now that our elders let us down. So what can we do right now? She says, let's ensure that they look back on this time as a moment when we stood tall, fought back, and carved our rightful place in the annals of history, not just as beneficiaries of our ancestral struggle, but as a worthy successors who carried their legacy forward with honor and determination. So what can we do right now to do just that?
By what we doing right now, talking about it, and then behind the scenes trying to come together. As you already know, we try to go to Cleveland and see what was going on, right? As you already know, we got involved with them. Let's try to see what's going on. Only thing we can do is try to get involved. We can't make people come together, right? We can't make people see what she's saying, but it's so true. And I really believe, in my honest and humble opinion, we have to go in the communities. Virtual is cool to be educated and talk. We have to go in the community and not just talk but produce. We have to put together investment groups. We have to put together groups that deal with addressing mental health. Put together groups dealing with, when I say investment groups, I'm talking about buying land, property, talking about opening business and what have you, talking about creating an atmosphere whereas our people see us investing in us. That's been the biggest problem and why the Black community haven't been able to stay strong in jail, because unlike in the past, it was so blatant that they had to deal with each other. It's not as blatant, even though it's still segregated. It's not as blatant, you know what I'm saying? And because they gave us a little, because we desire integration, people gotta realize Black people were scared. Black people was being terrorized, you know what I'm saying? They really wanted peace, even though we know, we stood up. There's a lot of that didn't know it wasn't about that. It wasn't about their life. Like even right now, we look at the Black conservatives and how they speak, they're not about their life. So my thing is, and even some of these liberals, but my point is, we have to try our best. Those who have the power, the influence, the ability to pass over a message, to bring people together and try to do something. And it's really not easy because as soon as you start about doing something, you got somebody else echoing something different, and they're gonna disagree with you openly and publicly, and don't really care about the fact that you really probably have some kind of substance in what you were talking about. That's why myself personally, I try to do a lot behind the scenes without talking about it on social media, and I try to network and build, but it's hard when you have people out here that have their own agendas. So that's a whole nother conversation, but something has to be done. It has to be done now.
She asked, she said, we face critical question. Will we let these developments be mere footnotes in history? Or will we rise to meet them with the same resolve that our ancestors showed in their times? Our ancestors fought not just for their present, but for our future. Today, we must honor their legacy by fighting not just for ourselves, but for the generations to come. So how do we make history today, Major?
I'm gonna say this, right? We've been dropped the ball. I don't think we'll be able to pick the ball up because a lot of us already contented and happy in what was going on. The good thing about it, information is out there. Thanks to social media, thanks to internet and what have you, even though we dropped the ball, it's out there. We just gotta direct them to it. You know what I'm saying? Then what's so crazy, then we gotta thank Donald Trump. We have to thank him. He made it so blatant, whereas the white people we were so-called cool working with, the white people that stayed down the street from us and what have you, we see how they really, really felt. Because white people are good disguising how they really, really feel. And I'm not trying to say all white people is bad and racist. I'm just saying what it is, right? And when I had shared something Roland Martin was talking about, it was a coincidence how when Obama got in office with low optimism, when Trump got in office, it was high optimism, right? And like he said, he made a valid point. Whenever we get a little something, they cry and complain. You know what I'm saying? You had Rush Limbaugh, conservative radio host, continuously attack affirmative action, continuously attack Black progress, or us addressing racism and what have you, and was glad to get the Herman's conservative and Black conservative to come on. I was trying to call his brother name Herman Camp. I think he died. Glad to get them, and what have you come on. And my point basically is the ball had been dropped big by us, A lot of us, I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. And people understand this. It was brutal when they killed King, when Malcolm X got killed, when they was killing the Black Panther Party, when they were locking them up. That scared black people. You know what I'm saying? Rightfully so. People just pulled back. Even when Just Jazzy came after MLK, was nothing like MLK. When Malcolm X died, nobody else came after Malcolm, not even Farrakhan. Farrakhan came after later because when Elijah Muhammad passed, I think 1976 in the mid 70s, they want to Wadi Muhammad, his son, trying to orthodox Islam. It wasn't until 1980 split and restarted Nation Islam. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta realize you had nobody came after Malcolm. And then Malcolm Farrakhan, even though I feel like he took the Malcolm way route, but in the end, he did it his way. So when you look at the big picture, the blame fall across the board. And what's the problem right now is we know it's the issue. We know we dropped the ball. We're gonna do about it. And I think right now we're doing it like I told you. We're talking about it. We've been trying to reach people and what have you, but it's you and I and other people that in like-minded minds, but bring people in the same umbrella. It's hard because everybody got agendas and everybody is very starch and hardcore on what they think we should do and how it should look like.
Well, she seems to think, according to her article, she seems to think that us being more active in elections will, solidify our place in history, or make it, will have us to make a mark in history by participating in their civil voting voting day elections or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think about that? I'm not one that's all with the elections because I really, number one, I feel like a president is not elected, they're selected. They give you two choices. I mean, like, really? Like, pick one, right? And so I pick neither, right? And then when we talk about the Congress people, it's like, they're supposed to be our representatives, but they've been our representatives for so long, Black Caucus and all like that, Congressional Black Caucus, but we still don't have a reparations bill on the floor. Still, we don't have a hate crime bill for Black people. I mean, so how are they representing us? They're not listening to us. So I'm not trying to tell anybody that they shouldn't vote because you feel like our forefathers, fought for that right to vote. That is true. But were they totally right to be fighting for a right to vote in a system that was not even designed? The Constitution wasn't even designed for us. And from what I can see, we're not even treated equally under that law. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, brother. Take it away.
Let me say this. It'd be unfair to anyone not to vote because of what you just said, but also the fact that you have the political verse anyway. So if you do not vote, you're not exercising no form of self-determination. You're not exercising no type of self-care. I mean, it's crazy. Like, so you really have no other choice. The problem is this, and why it doesn't work for us. Even we vote and do what we do in reference to put whoever in office. Once they drop the ball, we don't know how to respond to it. So we know how we respond to it, it'll be different. And because of that, voting is weakened because you have people that can come in our community once, twice a year, or every so many years, they come to the community, get our votes, give all these false promises. And then when they get there, you don't hear nothing about what they're doing. It's not like you're hearing them pushing the bill and they're getting pushback from white conservatives or what have you. You're not hearing anything. So that's where the problem coming at. So we really in a no-win situation. It's going to either be self-determination or vote, put the nonsense unless you follow with some kind of action. And unfortunately, whenever we do stand up, we know the government going to try to respond to it, but we pass those days of worrying about the government because the government is still doing what they're doing. They still locking us up, still being killed. We're still being marginalized, discriminated against. We still dealing with the Black farmers issue. Like, how many years we dealing with discrimination with Black farmers? I mean, it's so much going on and talk about. It's hard, but for me, it's like, if we can't, because my thing is this, right? I don't want nobody to feel like what, because see, the problem I have with advocates that say don't vote, right? And people that's pushed behind by self-determination. what you have in place of them not voting, what can you give them? What can you help them? What have you? And I'm not talking about no hot words. I'm talking about economically. Like we don't even want to invest in our community. It's like we're talking about let's just go take something. I'm like, bro, you got to deal with drones. You got to deal with a government that's killing their own people, making they want to kill you. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I'm talking about kill. I'm talking about over there in Russia and all. You know what I'm saying? These white people kill each other. White fight. They fight white people. So my thing is, bro, like, why we not investing in our community? Like, why? A lot of us know these rappers. A lot of us know these entertainers. A lot of us know people. You'd be surprised some of the people that know people. And they're not trying to galvanize these people to invest in our community. And no one really rappers that's coming out of like these neighborhoods are not buying the neighborhoods, are not doing. I'm not saying something like I know G's and T.I. them doing their thing, right? But I'm saying how I trickle down to helping our people. And I don't want to be critical saying people not doing it. I'm just saying it's not on a larger scale. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand you can't whisper everything on YouTube. You can't talk about everything on YouTube or social media. I get it. But at the same time, how are we gonna replace that? So people are scared, people are confused, people are running to this one, that one, join this organization, that organization, and they're not getting too far. You know what I'm saying? And what they're doing, exposing themselves to the government, whoever, showing that not only did we speak highly and strongly about how they violated us with the COINTELPRO Pro, but there's a lot of other things that the dude brought out. I forgot his name when he was working for Homeland Security. The Homeland Security got the guy who had to win in exile. He showed where after.
Eric Snowden.
Yeah, he showed it. Go looking at your information anyway. So you don't have to even show your face. They listen to everything. And then you got AI. So anything that come across them wave lines on your phone or whatever, they're picking it up. So we understand this has got serious. And see, no one got me kind of like through with our communities. They've been plotting and getting advanced the whole time while we bullcrapping, fussing, and fighting. So I don't even get it at this point. I'm to the point where I'm gonna put security around myself. So I'm gonna just be saying and doing things. You you got a lot of people on this side saying something else, and they're not coming together. And a lot of times they really undermine, they're pulling you down. So you have to be really careful when you're talking about stuff. We talking about a government that the way they had came into control is that they robbed, stole, killed, kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? It was brutal. So we're not dealing with no lightweight stuff, you know what I'm saying? So answering that question in short, man, it's hard to say yay or nay, but we got to do something.
But then she spoke about going to the ballot box. But my thing is this: if we go to the ballot box, are there referendums on these ballots stating that the Department of Education need to do something about them whitewashing our history? Because I haven't heard of any initiatives on anybody's ballots in any state saying that, oh yeah, we're gonna go after these people that's taking the Black history out of the schools, and just whitewashing it and changing the narratives, making it seem like we all came over here looking for work, right? Trying to take slavery completely out of the history books. I can see if they had referendums on the ballot, and then I go out there and vote and say, yeah, we need to tell the Department of Education to do away with that. But these people are not even talking that way. They're letting Congressional Black Caucus are letting the Department of Education dictate what type of curriculum we're going to allow our children to be subjected to. Because if you don't send your children to school, you have to prove that you're homeschooling them, or the state gonna be coming for you. You see what I'm saying? So right. And then so you are forced to put your children in front of these people that's pushing these narratives that's contrary to what history and the truth is. And if you give them any pushback on it, then now you're subject to go to jail, right? Because you're not sending your child there, and you don't have them in homeschool. I mean, listen
to what you just said, right?
Yeah.
We in 2024 still talking about these schools. Why we don't have no schools? Umar been talking about a school for how long? It's crazy that we've been having this conversation, considering what you said about all what they did with us voting. Why we keep going vote, and they're not producing. It's not producing real results for us. So again,
guess what? We do have our own schools. We do have our own schools, because when you look in the inner city, the majority of the people that's in these rundown schools, it's us. The parents are missing. See, if the parents were more involved in the children's education, then they
You
could
got
be
black
getting
schools. You got black schools like I
like
know you got black
what I'm
schools,
saying.
sort of schools.
What I'm saying is in the predominantly African American communities, the the majority of school board members, the people who are running the district schools, they're probably black as well, right? They're not doing anything to ensure that our curriculum, the correct curriculum or the truth about our history is being enforced in those school districts. And the parents are sitting back, not saying anything about it. And that's a problem. See, when you are a majority in a city, then you're supposed to be running that city, not allowing somebody all the way in Washington dictate how you're going to run your stuff in Georgia. You see what I'm saying? States' rights, right? And then when you go from states' rights, then you got the city charters and whatnot that they have to go by. But the Department of Education is where that those people that's in Congress, the ones that we vote for, can effectuate change because they make the laws, right? Right? They
You
make
saying
the
a
laws.
whole lot, though. I don't know you realize. Look, in the end, it starts at the top. So when you say all that, the top is one telling you what your curriculum is and what have you. You saying people should get pushback to change that. It's
Right.
not like it haven't been done, but the problem is most of these states are conservative states, you know what I'm saying? With white governors, you know what I'm saying? So either you got a predominantly black city like New Orleans, you know, which is mostly conservative state-wise, right?
Right.
You still have to fight with the state versus the local municipality, you know, the local versus state. So it's still an issue. Though I agree, but we still putting our faith what in the system. And that's where I'm like, we've been doing this how long? Running cities. I mean, as far as running cities, but not really running that for us being in control. But you know who been controlling? White people with money. You know
And then sometimes when we do have cities that are ran by us as a majority, we have so much corruption that comes about, right? And that hinders progress as well, because then that's that selfish nature that's within us to say, I'm gonna get mine, regardless to if you get yours. So I just thought that article was very interesting, a call to action in Black History Month. I think that we all should be really, really mindful moving forward, not to repeat the mistakes of our ancestors or our elders, right? But to understand where we are and understand the reality is, number one, they don't want the truth to get out about all of our major accomplishments. Number two, they want to keep you as worker bees and don't want you to be businessmen and entrepreneurs, businesswomen, and what have you. They want us to stay at the bottom so that they can continue to make all the money and retain all the power. They don't want to share the power with us, so we have to take our power by staying committed to staying together and looking out for us, and not saying, oh, let's include everybody. No, we could be separate but equal. I would say that again. We could be separate but equal. And I think that we should stay separate, because what we've been doing for the last 100 years or so, it ain't working.
But I have to add this for we get off this. There is a quiet movement of entrepreneurs that have money, that are hiring melanated people, that are all helping melanated people get businesses. There's a quiet movement going on. It is a mixture of a lot of other stuff involved. I won't even lie, and I'm not gonna say nothing about it. But I'm noticing that we are more conscious than we think we are in this day and age. It's just us, like you say, come together and make sense of it.
And I'm just tired. And I'm just gonna say this, and we're gonna go on to another subject. But I am tired of us just accepting what they give us as pacification for us in our troubles, right? Well, let's just give them a month that they celebrate their history, while on the backside in the schools we're wiping out their history. Like,
Right.
so we have a Black History Month. Where are we going to get our information from? Where's our history? Because you're constantly taking it out of the schools. You're even taking it out of the libraries. Why are you hiding our history? So I say, to hell with Black History Month. Black history, we make history every day that you open your eyes. Every day you open your eyes, you're making history. So you need to start understanding that and going out and do something positive that's going to be an effective change for the greater good of all of our people. And that's how we leave a good legacy for our children that's coming up in the next generation. We have to do some things that's going to be profound. And I think we are in a small way, but people like you and I that's in media should start definitely exposing our people to the greatness and the goodness that we are, and constantly push back on the negative stereotypes in which the mass media and our enemies try to paint us out to be. So that's my last word on that. Now, family, thank y'all for tuning in. You're now tuning into the NFNC Sunday Rap Session with Achoti Speaks and MajorTv. Now, Major and I were talking about this interview that I did with Mr. Jay Williams with Black Gun Owners Magazine. It was an excellent interview. You guys need to check that out. It's going to be premiering right after this live at 6 o'clock Central Time. You don't want to miss that. That was a very impactful interview. We talked about Black gun ownership, of course. We talked about police brutality. We talked about the Senate bills that's making their way through these houses of Congress that's going to affect your gun rights. We also talked about Grandmaster Jay and NFAC, Not Fucking Around Coalition, and we also talked about Otho Wallace and his appeal, and also how his take on the whole situation with him and Jason Rayner, as well as Senate Bill 1092. If you're in Florida, once again, if you're in Florida, please call your senator and tell them to vote no to Senate Bill 1092. Okay, so with that being said, Major, it has been an interesting 2 weeks for me, talking to all these different individuals in the community and whatnot, and it's all starting to come together. So I just want, and I know you've seen a couple of the interviews, and I just wanted to get your take on where we're going. Whereas News, Facts, and Comments in conjunction with MajorTv and Achoti Speaks, where are we going with this? Like, can you see that we're making progress in this game?
I mean, of course. I mean, I must admit, like when I told you, like I need to ask some questions about it, because I'm watching what you're doing, right? And I noticed the Jay Williams, I'm privy to know about the interview. I checked it out with the Jay Williams, as well as the commander Patrick Alexander with Geronimo Pratt, and also the interview did with NFAC, and I was like, you're going somewhere with it, right? So what I wanted to ask you was like, what inspired you to go there with these interviews, and what was your ultimate goal?
Well, I got this thing with this law enforcement. I don't like rogue actors, right? And with this law enforcement thing, I feel like they have too much discretion. So I set out to get the opinion of those individuals that are actually active out there in the community. What's your take on this law enforcement? Now, considering the case with Patrick Alexander, he's representing, he spoke on behalf of Mark LeJour, who was assaulted by Senatobia police chief of police. I mean, this man like literally choked him up in his own house, assault, and now he's facing charges. So when the cops are going rogue, right? Who's gonna stand up and tell them that we don't like it? And so that's why I just wanted to expose them. I guess basically exposing them, because we're all saying the same thing, that these cops are out of control, and it's like it's a vendetta against Black people, especially our Black men. And so I wanted to bring in some prominent Black men to speak to that subject of police violence, police brutality, and show our people that even though we're located in different locations and we may not be all in the same organization or the same club, we all are facing the same type of brutality or the same type of injustice at the hands of police officers. So connecting those dots and making sure that everyone knows that this is a bigger fight than just one organization, that we have a lot of people out here that are fighting for the same thing. And I just thought that I can bring them all on one platform and give them some exposure for the positive things that they're doing, to trying to expose the rogue cops. Law enforcement is out of control.
Let's talk about this premiere you about to drop. As I was privy to listen to it and check it out, and I was very impressed with the way you let I was impressed with your questions, the way the interview went. Tell me about the interview. How you was able to meet this brother. He's a he's a he's a magazine publisher, right? And he covered black owners and what have you on guns and black shops. How you came about finding out about him, the interview itself. What was your ultimate goal with that? Because I think you cover different things with it, but share with the audience about Jay Williams.
So Jay Williams, him and I are friends on Instagram, and I would see different posts that he would drop, and in relation to positive gun ownerships, black gun ownerships, training and whatnot like that. And then our good brother Nathaniel told me, hey, you ought to talk to this brother. He probably will be willing to give you an interview because he has a lot of positive things to say, and he's making moves in the community. So he was liking how he was moving. So I checked him out, and I just DM'd the brother and say, hey, we do news, facts, and comments. It's an online website. We like how you move in. We want to get your take on what's happening with black gun ownerships and how that's affecting us in our relationship with police. And the brother agreed to do it. And very humble brother, smart, articulate brother. I really enjoyed conversing with him. Like I said, we say an interview, but it was more like a conversation the brother and I had, because we talked about a number of topics, and he was forthright. He was forthright, and candid with me. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So, what was his opinion? Not to give too much, because I know the prayer coming. I don't really want to talk too much about it. But how he felt about gun rights and black people owning guns?
From what I can take from the interview or the conversation, he feels like it's important that you exercise your Second Amendment right. But being a responsible gun owner, learning and educating yourself on gun laws, as well as getting the proper training, right? And also, in addition to gun laws and gun training, he's also a big advocate for learning how to do life-saving measures, first aid stuff, right? So I was very impressed with that. His website is awesome. You guys are going to see that tonight when it drops. We're going to go through. You'll get his website is Black Gun Owners. I think blackgunowners.com.
Black Gun Owners Magazine.com.
Yeah, that is right there on the screen, right? Yeah. So y'all check him out. He's
all right. That's my last question.
Okay.
Why everybody should watch this premiere? That's my last question. Why they should watch that premiere? I think it should be a family thing too, because I think kids, being taught about guns too, all that, I believe.
Right. We spoke about educating our children about responsible gun ownership. So yeah, the reason why you should watch it is because inside of the interview, we dropped a lot of details about gun rights or getting your gun rights restored. So it's an educational piece, and you have a positive black brother that's speaking intelligently and informing the people and wanting to help our people learn more about their Second Amendment right. And so if you are a gun enthusiast, or even if you're someone that's looking to purchase a gun here in the near future, and you want to get a good feel of what it feels like to be a gun owner, you should definitely check out his website. Check out his Instagram page. He has some interesting videos of people actually training. And so, yeah, it's a interview or conversations that pack full of information in education, right? So it's not just all opinion. It's a lot of facts being shared, as well as some resources that you can use. Yeah.
All right. Going back to a couple more questions. Going back to the interview with the commander of Geronimo. I cannot pronounce
Geronimo
Pratt. commander. Excuse me, y'all. I got tied tongue right.
Mhm.
tied tongue right now.
Take your
Um,
time.
Satobia Police Department, and the video is going viral, right? How they went in the house without a search warrant, looking for somebody, what have you.
Mhm.
In that interview, I know you pointed out some things, right, about the chief of police, and as well as um, the overall outcome. Can you tell us in brief where is that right now, and what's the progress with the case?
So, as of last week when I spoke with him, he said that the gentleman was in contact with an attorney, and he did plan to pursue legal ramifications for the chief of police, and they're basically asking for the community to stand behind him. That's basically where we are. He does plan to lawyer up. I think that he has a very valid case. I think it's a clear case of excessive use of force and violation of his constitutional rights. So yeah, but he is facing charges, so he has to get a lawyer to to defend himself from the bogus charges, in addition to having a lawyer to represent him on the civil suit when he goes to sue them civilly. I'm looking for criminal charges to be pressed against the chief of police myself. I mean, I do think that someone mentioned in the chat when we were having that conversation that he should contact the Department of Justice and have them look into that, because how you gonna have the police investigate the chief of police? I mean, really?
Mm. And one more question. I'm not going to let one more question. And when you spoke about InFact and information about Jim J, um, how he's doing right now? What's going on with that?
Okay, so he is in recovery. I would just want to say shouts out to all the InFact members. Yeah, so we do need to continue to pray for the brother. He had open heart surgery. The surgery was a success. He's now healing. Um, and so they're looking to either get a compassionate release for him due to his medical condition, or they're looking for us to continue to write the president so that he can get a commutation.
All right.
Yeah, that's where we are with that. So they seem to be upbeat. They say that look for them in the future to do some different things, but definitely their focus on is having people continue to support the Grandmaster J Legal Defense GoFundMe account, and also at the same time pray for him to have a speedy recovery.
Yeah, I hope the brother get well. Free Jim J. Shouts to InFact as well. But that's basically my question. Whatever I just said, I observed the pattern of interviews you was having, and it was dealing with gun rights, black people becoming armed, self defense, different self defense gun clubs, militias, and what have you. It was interesting that you was doing. I thought that was a good look.
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna stay on these police officers' neck. Like, as a matter of fact, my brother, I am gearing up to do a fundraiser for Othel. I believe we're gonna do that on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Of course, you already invited without question. But there is a video that was sent to me by Commander Bishop, right? Of InFact, and it was a gentleman called let me grab my phone. But anyways, he put out a video in defense of our brother Othel Wallace, and because of his persuasion, I was completely shocked. So, anyways, his name is Delete Laws, right? And so I figured it'd be a good idea to do a fundraiser surrounding that video. We'll do a live reaction to that video and get people to come in and give their thoughts on how this man looked at that video and saw that it was a clear case of self-defense in regards to Othel Wallace. So, yeah, Tuesday, 7 p.m. We're gonna do that live reaction, and it's gonna be reaction/fundraiser for Othel Wallace Legal Defense Fund. That's what's up on the agenda. And then also, before we go too far, or why you still here, want to talk about Concerned Voices podcast. That's also coming up this Thursday, and every Thursday we're going to be dropping podcast information, or going deep into controversial subjects and subjects that affect our community. So for everybody that's listening, if you have not gone after you get off of this live, you're going to go to Concerned Voices podcast and you're going to subscribe and you're going to hit the notification bell so that you won't miss our Thursday night drops. Thursdays at 7 o'clock.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
For a newer was it's part is episode 3, but
Yeah.
so 1 and 2 is already out there, so you can see that now. But every Thursday 7 p.m. and we have an audio version on Spotify every Friday at 10 a.m.
That's right. That's right. So my brother, as usual, it's been a pleasure you coming in. You've been skipping on me on news facts and kind of this Sunday rap session. I know you've been busy. I know you've been busy. I see you.
I got you.
I'm looking forward to your next special report. I know you've been writing on some things and investigating some things, so I'm looking forward to that. You know what I'm saying? I think after this week, we'll get back into tackling these news stories, but it's just been so much, brother. You and I both been busy, but good to see you back on. You know what I'm saying?
One thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dropping Unsung Black Heroes Part 3. I think it's gonna be Saturday. I'm keeping my same day Saturday. I believe about 7 o'clock. So I've been doing a series on that. But trust me, sister, I got you. You know, we both been busy. We're gonna bring it together. You know, the universal line, we're gonna do our thing.
That's right. That's right. So if you drop that on Saturday, when we look to see you back here at News, Facts, and Comments Sunday rap session for a little talk about that premiere. You know what I mean? Like, because our history, and it's the right month, according to them people, right? To get it in. So I appreciate you, my brother. You stay you. You stay strong, my brother.
All right,
Shalom,
peace.
shalom. Hey, people. I'm so glad y'all was here. You know, I wanted to kind of get off of this live before the premiere of Jay Williams interview discussion, Black Gun Owners Magazine. That was an excellent interview. You don't want to miss that. You got to check the brother out. He spits some knowledge and he has an opinion on gun ownerships and cops and community policing as well, and how we should educate our children on gun safety and, you know, provide training to them. And I'm not going to say no more. I'm just let y'all check it out. But I appreciate y'all joining us tonight. And go over to Achoti Speaks for that interview. If you're joining us on MajorTv or if you're on News, Facts, and Comments, go on over to Achoti Speaks. The premiere starts in about 13 minutes. So you don't want to miss that. Once again, I thank you for joining us for News, Facts, and Comments Sunday rap session. Please leave your comments in the chat or down in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, tell a friend that we're back in the house and we're trying to do this and bring this to you every Sunday. News, Facts, and Comments. Don't forget, we also have the website available for you all. We will be updating the website this week with up-to-date news stories. Continue to follow us for all the latest news that's happening in the world. So with that being said, I don't want to hold y'all because y'all might need to go get something to drink, something to snack on, get your popcorn, use the bathroom. Come on back to Achoti Speaks for that interview. That conversation it's going to be lit. All right, then. I appreciate everybody joining us right now. And we'll see y'all next Sunday. News, Facts, and Comments. Sunday rap session. And that, my friends, is a wrap.